Yeah, so,
Let me
let's
just
find.
crack open this can before you start.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so, if you guys are ready to begin,
Mm-hmm.
the recap from last session. Last session, you guys began with arriving back at the High Hall Cathedral after killing Gideon Lunaward at the Grand Cemetery. And once you guys got settled back in, Amity, you assisted Yavin in creating some arcane defenses for the cathedral, not unlike those you had worked on at the academy. And then this time, Jellie communed with Torm. She asked what would befall El Turul in the next 7 days and witnessed a vision of the city being pulled further down towards the Styx and angry flames licking up and washing over the city as the High Hall stood defiant. Jellie also asked about Amity's family and received a vision of a figure walking across a scorched barren wasteland towards some construct seemingly made of hell iron. And then a second vision of a figure chained and shackled in some dark, hot, oppressive environment.
Shit.
After communing with Torm, Jellie went to see her family and helped them work on some armor and silver some weapons. And Amity also spent some time reading over the Testament of Gideon Lunaward, the tome collected from his quarters in the cemetery, where he talked about his rebirth at the hands of Zariel and his intentions to create an army of the undead to serve the Archdevil. You guys collected some bottles of holy water after giving out some fine wine to various friends you'd made at the High Hall. You guys hunkered down for the evening, having given Lulu her new armor.
Yo.
And Amity used detect thoughts on Jellie and then disguise self on herself to take the form of the woman from Jellie's vision of Zariel's sword. Lulu immediately recognized the woman as an old friend, Yale, sparking some memories in her. In the morning, you said your emotional farewells and set out across the city, heading towards Fort Knucklebone in the east. In the process, passing briefly by the scene of a battle, a long since finished battle, where it seems that some of the survivors who had attempted to flee the academy for the High Hall had met with the ambush you heard of. You also witnessed the academy itself was now partially collapsed in, one of the spires having been knocked over and fallen over onto the structure itself. You travelled eastwards and off the edge of El Turul, Amity taking the form of a giant eagle to ferry Jellie. However, on your way eastwards, you were spotted by a pit fiend, seemingly commanding the devilish forces along the banks of the River Styx. And so you were set upon by a white Abishai and four spine devils. I don't know if you remember that, if you were a bit too drunk by that point, but that was a thing
I
that
got
happened.
it in my notes.
Yep. And in the process of being attacked here, Amity, you lost your concentration, your polymorph dropped, and you yourselves dropped out of the sky. But thanks to some feather fall and thunder step, you safely got to the ground and dealt with the attackers, even as they turned to flee, seeing that things were not in their favor. You dealt with them, and that is where we are picking up. So we begin with you standing on the solid ground of Avernus for the first time. To your west, the battle along the banks of the River Styx rages on in the shadow of El Turul. To your east, off in the distance, lies the large hand-like rocky hill of Fort Knucklebone. The terrain around you is rocky and reddish brown, the sky littered with chunks of stone and earth seemingly flung into the air and then just held there aloft. And you can see that the terrain shifts a little bit off in the distance. There's some kind of areas that look more sandy, areas where the terrain becomes more jagged and a bit perhaps more impassable on foot. But it looks like you have a pretty clear shot at Fort Knucklebone in the east, even if it is maybe a couple of hours travel on foot.
Okay.
And as you're kind of taking in this scene, Lulu is on the ground, her trunk kind of rubbing at the side where she was hit by the spine devil barbs and erupted into flame once it penetrated her side.
Are you hurt?
Just a little.
Is there anything I can do for you, baby?
The little level 1 cure wound.
Maybe, because
She didn't take a lot of damage, but I don't know how much HP she had.
how much stop.
She did not look to be blooded by the attack, I can tell you that
But she doesn't deserve.
No, I'll give her. In fact, I've got healing word. Like if it's that little damage, then I don't know because if they're both first level, I'm literally
one
cure wounds. So
I believe one of you was hit by a kind of similar attack.
Jellie was, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how much damage you took from it, but you'd been aware that there was a kind of piercing element and then a fire element as that spine that penetrated the flesh erupted into flames. So
I don't know if I took damage before that, but it took off. It seems like it took off like 20 health.
Might have been that and something else to hit you then.
Fuck it, right? I'll cure wounds on Lulu. So
if you want to roll for that.
And Jellie, are you alright? Do you need to?
Oh, you know me, I'll be alright. I can always, Oh,
Lulu healed for 6.
that's so shit. Oh,
you know what you did forget to do, Gavin?
What did I forget to do?
You forgot to upload Stanley's new art.
You did.
Fuck, I forgot to upload it.
Do you think that was it? Do you think that's what was
That's
it?
what was good.
That might have been what was at the back of my mind because I was sure I'd forgotten to do something, so I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Sorry, figure it out.
For next session, I will upload the new art that Stanley did.
Ruin you.
Sorry about that, guys.
Because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see my stuff.
Your new stuff, which is still a shitty paint drawing right now.
Oh, okay.
I will. You might need to remind. Actually, you know what? I'll make a note so I don't forget. I will make a note to upload Stanley's art.
Do it.
Upload Stanley art. There we are. Yeah, so you've healed up Lulu, and you can see that the wounds and burns kind of heal over somewhat, and she kind of sniffles and looks up at you, Janet. Thank you.
You're welcome. She's such a little cutie.
And she kind of like slowly flies up and just gives you a little kind of trunk hug.
Oh, you're welcome, my little angel. Okay, are we heading to the fort?
Yeah, and as we do, I'm going to give everyone a nice little speech about...
Thank you!
Okay, so...
12
12 temporary hit points from Inspiring Leader.
Nice.
Gone! As I shouldn't do. Remember, I can do that.
What kind of inspiring speech are you giving everyone here?
Look at us. We were fallen, and now we are not. We will only continue to rise from this point forwards. Yep. The answers are in that bone fort. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes. So are you guys proceeding on foot? Are you using the broom?
Do you want to use the broom because it helps you out, Jellie?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I think we're in danger. We're in danger on any terrain. Shall we go on the broom and like not fly super high, but not fly like I don't know how many feet do you want to go up? Like
do you want to just be like how tall Amity would be? Like 5 foot?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Do we know of any like things that live underground in Avernus?
Does Amity?
Like
make an Arcana check, Amity.
I'm thinking of things that might just like out of the ground.
So with 25, you are aware that there are a great many fiends that there are a great many fiends that dwell in Avernus. you aren't sure on specifics, but you're
Oh.
fairly certain that there's very few places that will be free from threats. You vaguely remember there may be some sort of burrowing creatures that live in amongst Avernus, but you're not sure on specifics, but you are aware that there are some forms of burrowing creatures in Avernus.
Great.
Possible. They'll just.
So if we stay above the ground, we don't touch it, and we're not too high, we're just like
Coasting.
Yep. Should be okay.
And we'll still move faster than Jellie's base speed, even with all of us on the broom. So
Lulu just fly alongside.
yeah, exactly. So we're, it's just a win-win.
Yeah, and if we feel like we're in danger, we'll pop that ring.
And we
Did you not? You already popped the ring, did you not?
No, not today.
Could you cast silence instead?
I didn't pop the ring.
I feel like you used the ring.
Today? You sure it wasn't on the way to the cemetery?
Because we didn't do it.
I thought it was on your way eastwards across the city you used the ring.
Oh, I don't think so. Why would I do that? Middle of the sky.
There's no point. She's so.
I'm not moving. It would have been silence I would have cast. And I still got spotted. What the hell's Pass Without Trace going to do for me? Maybe I was...
Yeah, because I remember we were saying, because we brought it up, you were like, should I pop the ring? And I said, oh no, because what's it going to do? We're in the sky.
Yeah.
It can't hide us from that.
It's not going to... It doesn't make you invisible. It just would stop me from rattling, but I'm not moving. So what would be the point? Silence would cause like a bubble around us.
Yeah.
I definitely cast silence. Or
I feel like I remember though you guys made stealth checks traveling across the city at disadvantage, and because I just got to find the stealth checks down, I remember that. So Amity got like a 13 and Jellie got a 5, which turned into a 23 and a 15. Like I remember that shift happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gavin's right. No, Gavin's right. Sorry, Gavin.
I was far.
No, he's right. I thought
was the most sober for that part.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't
didn't
remember that. No, you are right. I was remembering just like the thought process of when we were.
Yeah, because we talked about it a lot.
I wasn't remembering the flight. No, you're right.
Thanks, Gavin. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So, sorry, the ring is expended until your next spell.
Is there a place that I can signify that just for? Because there's no.
You could add it. You could add it to your class resources bit in your character sheet if you want.
Oh yeah, just have a little one.
What's the class resource?
I can quickly add it
just below the floors section.
Yep, you have channel divinity, then your prepared spells there. Although
Right.
your channel divinity says 2 out of 3. I don't remember you using channel divinity today.
Was that the night before? Fucking hell, sorry.
Yeah, maybe you just didn't update it during your last long rest. That's fine. So I can add it just now if you want, or if you've got it there.
It's fine, I'll do it.
Okay. So you guys are mounting up on the broom, heading eastwards, maybe about 5-10 feet off the ground as you travel.
Yeah.
Because the broom speed with 2 of you on it is 30 feet. So with that in mind. So
Did I cast silence? Sorry.
I don't think you cast silence. I don't remember you casting silence.
I mean, I'll take it.
I thought you had, but we'll have to play that footage back.
Do you know what? I'll take the spell slot off. Err on the side of caution.
Presumably you would have taken the spell slot off when you used silence, so no?
I was drunk as
I mean, we
Gavin, I immediately left and threw up. Do you think
Yeah,
I
we both
remembered
when?
anything that happened?
Yeah.
Drunk
Fair
sessions
enough.
are fun, but
Fair
they
enough.
just do not work mechanically.
Okay. It's probably better in sessions like when we did like the shopping session and that. Those are good times for
Yeah.
drunk sessions.
RP heavy.
Yeah,
RP
and
heavy.
it was all RP up until
Yeah,
the
it was.
last 30 minutes.
Yeah, up until the bit we had to start traveling and
Yeah.
It was
get down
dangerous
from the
part.
city chained above the river
Well,
Styx in
really?
hell.
That's your fault. Is what I'm hearing.
My bad, guys. My bad.
No, sorry, it's cool. Yeah, I had 4 out of 5 for some fucking reason. So
Well, it probably would have been.
I don't see any other second level spell that I cast. So yeah, we good.
Okay, so
So we
you
on this.
guys, you set out eastwards on the broom, and as you fly across the landscape of Avernus, El Turil and the River Styx fall further and further behind you, though it strangely does so in fits and starts. Like, despite your travel speed remaining constant,
Oh, space.
there are times when you look back at El Turil anchored there above the Styx, and it feels like you're barely moving away from it at all. Other times it seems to very suddenly shrink away rapidly into the distance
Does
at
it
far
ever
greater speed than you're
grow?
traveling at. It never grows, it never looks like it's getting closer to you,
Right. Okay.
but the rate at which it gets further from you seems to shift despite your speed remaining constant.
Fuck.
This, I believe at least Amity was informed a little bit about this. Even though the Nine Hells, very ordered planes, the abyssal influence on the River Styx and the great demonic presence in Avernus has introduced quite an element of chaos to the once very ordered plane of Avernus. So the terrain and landscape kind of shift bizarrely. But you continue moving eastwards, and similar to how El Turil disappears in a strange kind of starting motion, Fort Knucklebone up ahead, it feels, for a long time, doesn't feel like it's actually getting any closer at all. Like El Turil's shrinking away, but Fort Knucklebone still just looks maybe about 2 hours travel away. And about a half hour passes, Fort Knucklebone looks about as far away as it did when you started. And as you continue on past that first half hour, it gets maybe a little bit closer. But you notice that towards your right, to the south, peeking over the horizon and getting closer, there is this gargantuan volcano. And even though you're heading in a straight line eastwards towards Fort Knucklebone, it's almost like this volcano appearing on the southern horizon is getting closer to you than Fort Knucklebone is.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. I say, as the volcano gets closer and closer, you can make out that you can make out the caldera of the volcano spewing fire and ash into the air, and there's what looks like the outline of some sort of dark fortress hewn into the slopes of the volcano. And you continue eastwards, Fort Knucklebone getting very slowly closer, the volcano to the south getting closer at a much faster rate. And as it does so, Jellie, a strange sensation passes over you. A relic of Onatu has just passed within range.
Oh! Pop. We popping off.
We're popping off.
Right. And it's coming from the direction of.
So you need to do a 10-minute ritual to determine the exact location within the radius. Just now, you're just aware that a relic of Onatu has passed within that 10,000 feet radius of you.
Okay. Can I do the ritual on the broom?
No, you'll have to like sit down and like.
Okay. I say to Amity, so I think one of Onatu's relics is within a very wide range of us. But it's the first time I've felt it since we got here. I would need to take some time to like find where it is.
That's fine. Yeah, you do your thing.
Okay, I'm gonna hop off the broom and do the
Okay.
ritual.
Okay, kind of prepare yourself there, commune briefly with Onatu and close your eyes and focus on this presence, that you can feel this sensation that there is something within this radius. And after 10 minutes of focusing on this and carrying out the ritual, you get a definitive ping deep within that volcano.
I say, you know that volcano that seems to be creeping up on us?
Yeah.
In there. It's in there.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now, or should we go to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, from what I can tell, it's coming to us whether we like it or not. So I think we just keep going to Knucklebone, and if it gets closer, we can make a call as it approaches.
Okay. Should we just make a note of it in the journal?
Yep. It's Onatu's in there. Yeah, I think we should continue to Knucklebone though. I think that's the...
As long as you're sure, because I know that's your mission here for Onatu.
I just feel, even though I know that Avernus, El Turo isn't going into the sticks within the next 7 days, we still don't know a lot about what we're gonna do, and I worry that searching around Avernus, finding pretty things for Onatu isn't the priority when we don't really know we don't know how long we've got.
But also, didn't he give you a vision? Oh, sorry, they gave you a vision, right? About like all their pretty shit that was gonna help you.
So did Torm though. It feels like both deities are kind of promising me.
I mean, Onatu's not trying to snatch you away from me, so I'm fine going into that volcano if that means that you'll stick around.
That's true. Onatu did kind of offer no strings attached.
It's in that way.
We could try something. So as we head, we've seen that as we head towards Fort Knucklebone, the volcano gets closer.
Yeah.
What happens if we head towards the volcano? Does Fort Knucklebone get closer?
I guess we'll keep going and we'll find out.
Towards Knucklebone? You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And we'll see. But yeah, if these relics are going to help, I think we should get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should. Hey, we could train you to be a cleric of Onatu in a few days, right? And then you could wield it, and then I could have Torm shit.
I mean, I can't wear armor and cast my spells.
It's okay, I'll beef you up. I'll have you on a strict regime to be strong enough to...
Of rations.
Yeah.
That taste like ash.
Mm-hmm. Ashen rations.
Ooh.
And then the three gals can be all armored up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's head to Knucklebone. I mean, how long have we been traveling for now? Would you say?
Now.
Probably 45 minutes since you touched down on the ground.
Okay, let's go.
Go that
on the broom.
Okay,
Yep.
So you hop back on the broom, you levitate up to that kind of 5-10 feet range and head off eastwards again.
As we're going, I am keeping my eyes peeled for anything. There's anything from the sky, from the ground.
Make a perception check.
Anything.
What do you perceive?
16. Okay. So you're kind of keeping an eye out as you travel, and what you do notice as you're traveling eastwards towards Knucklebone, the volcano then begins to shift further towards the horizon, away from you.
I wave to
And as it does so, that sense of a relic being near fades from you.
Alright, well.
Choice.
Can I bring out the map?
Yeah, sure.
Jellie brings out the map to be like...
I will flick you guys over to the right
Start
page.
rummaging around. He's aside.
I mean, there's this guy.
It's Bel Air.
Bel Air.
I don't feel like going up against Belle right now. I'll be honest.
Why we called that Bel Air? Of course. Is that the volcano? Did you say it was a volcano? How did the volcano look?
It's like a huge gargantuan volcano
That looks like a
spewing
big-ass
fire
volcano.
and ash up into the atmosphere.
Like
And you can
that?
see that looks like a volcano, and you can see that there is some sort of like fortress hewn into the side of the volcano.
Yeah, there ain't no fortress in that. So.
Or maybe it's around the back.
Yeah, in the back. It could be. Who the fuck knows? Okay, all right. This map really. When does it become useful, Gavin? This fucking bastard has done nothing for us so far. Okay, we head into Knucklebone.
Nothing but blows Ariel's cover to Luli.
Oh yeah, it did. It achieved something.
It served a purpose.
Good one.
Maybe not quite the purpose you were hoping for, but a
You
purpose.
bastard.
But it did something.
Ugh,
And as the volcano shifts further and further into distance and eventually disappears back over the horizon, Fort Knucklebone at this point is approaching at a decent pace.
okay.
Oh, alright.
Then it slows down again and
Oh.
speeds up a bit and then slows down again.
The girls in the room going, huh? Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
And this continues until you've been traveling for maybe 2.5 hours.
Jesus.
And it's definitely closer, but it's difficult to gauge. Like you feel like progress is being made, but it's difficult to gauge how much. And as you continue eastwards, to the kind of northeast, so your perspective kind of to the left, off a wee bit behind Knucklebone, something kind of catches your eye, Jelly. You got a 16 your perception there. It looks like it's just a kind of strange, sprawling field of white to the northeast there.
Field of white.
It's very far off in the distance, so you can't really make out details. You're kind of looking like, does it get white over there?
I say to Amity, any landmark you know of that is a field of white?
I go to Avernus 101.
Make an Arcana check.
Because I mean, the stuff around Bel Air looks very white, but I don't know if that's what Gavin's getting at.
Yeah, there's like the white clouds over there.
Yeah, who knows?
Nothing immediately springs to mind as explaining this. Actually, Amity, as Jay's pointing this out, you can make a perception check as well.
Okay. It's not very strong suit.
Yeah, much the same as Jelly, you're looking out and there's far off there is some sort of field of white. Pure glistening white.
We're heading that way anyway, right? So
Yep, that's it.
keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. We are
So
aware.
you continue on and you reach about the 3-hour mark, and you're now close enough to start making out kind of features of Fort Knucklebone up ahead. And I'm going to swing you guys over to this.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
So, as you kind of
Oh no.
approach,
It
what's
booted me
wrong?
from the game.
Oh shit, that's not good.
You'll see on the video later that I clicked the zoom out button and I
I
left.
just went, oh.
It zoomed you all the way out.
Yeah. Oh god. But nerve-wracking touching it again. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So there is Fort Knucklebone, and you are approaching now. It comes up very nice into view, maybe about 3.5 hours in total before you come within proper reach of it. And you see that this strange hand-shaped rock formation is surrounded by a rampart, this jagged wall of metal that runs the perimeter. You can see an area up ahead that is clearly set up as some sort of gatehouse or main entranceway. The rampart kind of forms two watchtower-like structures, and there's an open area to allow entrance, seemingly. and you can make out cave entrances between the fingers of this hand-shaped hill. And the sandy area between the base of the hill and the metal rampart looks like some sort of scrapyard. There are piles of junk and trash and scrap metal everywhere. And Amity, you see quite a few things in amongst there that resemble the infernal war machines you researched in Candlekeep. Though most look to be in some sort of state of disrepair. You see two-wheeled vehicles with great spiked wheels. Imagine, if you will, some sort of like very Mad Maxy motorbike.
Ooh, nice.
Larger than those, you see heavily armored four-wheeled dune buggy-like machines. And even larger still, there are great big constructs with 6 or 8 or even more wheels, and a variety of strange contraptions affixed to them and hanging off of them. And you're now getting very close, and you can make out that there are little red figures atop the watchtower-like things that you're approaching. It's still maybe like 400 feet or so in front of you.
Hey, Lulu, you said you're friends with these people, right?
I think so. I remember making a friend here.
Okay, well, you keep close to us.
Okay. And she like flies herself between you guys on the broom and kind of snuggles in.
What's the plan, Amity?
I mean, Lulu's friends with them, right? So maybe
And we don't know what race.
if we just go up to the tower or like approach and go, hi, old friend, come to visit.
Yeah? Do we
I
know?
don't think start casting and blasting is the best.
Oh no, we shouldn't. We definitely shouldn't. I wonder if they'll start casting and blasting as soon as they see us approach, though.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that other than silence, but I mean they're probably looking out, so that's not.
Yeah, it's probably not much help. Again, if we just have Lulu there, she stands out.
She does.
Am I excited if they know her?
I'm gonna. Okay.
Otherwise, I don't know if I could disguise myself as anything. You're still obviously a gnome. That doesn't really help you.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
We have no information about this place. So
We just have to go. Yeah, fair. Do we want to try
approach.
fly up to one of the towers, or do we want to stay on the ground and approach a gate?
Stay on the ground. So, like, I feel like going up is like a threat.
A threat. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep low and head to whatever looks like a gate.
Okay. So you fly yourselves along, kind of closing the distance. As you do so, both of you make Arcana checks for me.
Why would I even bother? What the fuck is
You got all right, Arcana.
I got 1.
Oh.
At least it's not 0.
Hey, it's still good.
All right.
So, as you approach and these watchtowers and the red figures atop them get closer and clearer, you make out these are creatures both of you are not familiar with, but you have heard of. The creatures, there are 3 on each watchtower. These are red caps. These are fey creatures. But they are very murderous fey creatures.
Oh shit, I was about to be like, hey, Freya!
Red caps resemble particularly short, sinewy gnomes almost. But they have these red caps that are permanently affixed to them. And they, to essentially maintain their own existence, they have to regularly kill things. And so they are very violent, aggressive little bastards, basically.
Are they tough?
define tough.
Are they like a spined devil or are they a barbed devil?
You'd be able to handle one of them, no bother. If you were to confront a group of them, you might run into some issues.
So there's how many? There's 3 in each
There's
tower.
3 on each watchtower.
And there's how many watchtowers?
There's 2 watchtowers. It's basically there's a watchtower. So there's the iron rampart, and then there's a watchtower on each end of the rampart as it opens up into a kind of entranceway.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
Kind of
I
gap
say
in the rampart.
if they need to kill something, we bring out the bag
Yes, I was just thinking that.
and we both yeet some animals.
Yeah,
in the
and we say,
direction.
hey,
Oh,
a
wow.
gift for you. We start tossing them out.
Sacrifices.
Exactly. Well, they just pop back in anyway. That's fine.
Yeah, it is fine. It is fine. I don't know if it would satisfy their kill quota, but
Yeah, they're killing something.
yeah,
Yeah, of course.
it would trick them at least for a bit.
Keep them busy.
Okay.
So as you approach and come kind of within 100 feet of the watchtowers, you hear a voice yell out to you as one of the red caps kind of holds on to a handle on the kind of roof overhang bit of the watchtower, kind of like swings himself just dangling out over the edge of the watchtower and points a sickle out in your direction. And he goes, "You there! You there! What's the password?"
That was my password. Uh-oh.
And as he's doing this, you can see the 2 other red caps also in that watchtower are very like they're suddenly looked over and they're like discussing something amongst themselves as this third one is dangling, pointing a sickle out in your direction.
I shout back, "Murder is fun!"
Well, yes, but it's not the password. Try again.
I love to kill.
Well, I think we'll be very good friends, but again, not the password.
How about you let us in and we can talk more about it?
As you're saying this, at the other watchtower, another red cap, he kind of pokes his head down and he's like, "We have a password?"
These are fun.
And the one that's dangling with someone says, "You ruined it! Over you come!" And gestures to you guys on the broom.
Oh, nice!
Up we go.
Yeah.
So you're like ascending to the watchtower.
Yeah.
Over we come.
So
I can give you a picture of the red caps here.
oh, I love him. He's very cute.
I should point out as well, actually, with your 23 Amity, you're aware that some red caps lose themselves to their violent nature and become known as madcaps. Madcaps truly are red caps taken to an even further extreme.
Okay.
Here is a picture of a red cap for you.
Where are you putting it?
In the Glasgow Hotel chat, sorry.
Nice and bright. They're cute. I like the sickles as big as him.
Yeah, they are like shorter than gnomes. These things are really small.
Even shorter than Jelly. Holy fuck.
Even shorter than Jelly, yeah.
Man, we could just
and
just fuck them up.
you can actually see that as you approach the watchtower, you can see that in the other watchtower, one of the red caps is in fact a madcap. And madcaps look a bit more like this.
That's a change.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And so as you fly up, the 3 red caps in the watchtower you have approached, so you fly up, and the guy that was hanging and dangling as you approach kind of swings himself back and lands firmly on the watchtower. As he does so, the very large, oversized metal boots he's having clank loudly as he lands onto the watchtower. And you're like, "You have to see Maggie then?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is she?
"I should be inside. Go have a look." And he kind of gestures over at the scrapyard area with the sickle.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah. He's an old friend.
So you guys fly in into the kind of scrapyard area, and you can see now that some of these piles of scrap are actually like little hovels for the red caps.
Oh.
There are dozens of red caps milling around in here, and amongst them a few mad caps as well. But what does catch your eye as you're kind of traveling in, and they stick out a bit because they are not red caps, there are two kenku. You can see that these kenku are wearing very kind of plain clothes, but they have one of them has a kind of silvered spike on his back. The other has a large kind of like hell iron hammer, and they're working away on one of these kind of infernal motorbikes, essentially, loudly kind of clattering and clanking away as they're like working or seemingly doing repairs of some sort, tossing out broken bits, rummaging through piles of scraps in and putting in new bits. And
Jelly in a sidecar.
and the two of them are working away, and you can see it every now and then one of them turns and says something to the other, and the other kind of thinks, then says something back, and they're working away. And they seem very focused on their work. And at that point, you hear a voice, you're like, "Oi, bird brains, we got company!" And emerging from round behind a pile of scrap not too far from the kenku, a gnome steps out. This gnomish woman, about
I'm one of those.
Jelly, because you yourself are a gnome, you're very familiar with gnomes.
Tell me everything.
You reckon she's maybe just over 100 years old or so, that kind of range.
A young whippersnapper.
So it's not old for a gnome by any means.
Jelly.
Yeah.
Jelly's a infant.
she's maybe just over 3 foot tall, a bit paler skin than Jelly.
Jelly's a
and her hair is shaved on the left side of her head, and the rest of her hair is black for an inch or two at the roots, then seems to be dyed a vibrant green the rest of the way.
We got to dye our hair.
Like an inverted Billie Eilish.
And you can see that she's wearing these like black overalls, like kind of hanging open at the top, and she has this red tank top underneath, and it's all stained with like grease and dirt and all sorts. And kind of just below that tool belt, just below the overalls as they're folded over, you can see a tool belt around her waist, and she's got a very large wrench slung over her shoulder as she's kind of stepping out over towards you guys from behind that pile of scrap she emerged from. And the two kenkus immediately look over at her and then look around, and both of them lock eyes with you guys. And one of them looks at you, back to the other kenku, and then over at the gnome, and in a very deep voice goes, "That's none of my business." and the gnome yells out, "Go get Maggie, will you?" And the other kenku says in a very high-pitched voice, "Leave it to the boss!" And the two kenku scurry off in the direction of the great big hand-like hill, and kind of make their way into one of the caves up there as the gnome continues approaching you.
We're lowering. We're going down to see this cool-ass gnome.
Can I speak in gnomish to the gnome?
Oh yeah, I want to speak in gnomish as well, after Joe's done her thing, obviously.
I just want to greet them and introduce myself, and then I hand it over to Amity.
Amity would just say, "Hi, Amity," in gnomish.
Gnomish.
So she will reply in gnomish. And you can see that she kind of raised an eyebrow at you speaking gnomish, Amity. She gives you kind of nod as you greet her and introduce yourself. She goes, "The name's Nim. What are you doing here anyway? Looking for wheels?" She kind of gestures to the motorbike that the kenku were repairing.
I mean, where? But we might be now.
Yeah, you got some fine work going on here.
This is cool.
It's 11. So you're not here for that. And what are you here for?
hopefully to see an old friend of a friend.
Friend of a friend.
Yeah.
This is
Anything
Lulu.
more to... All right, Lulu. Then. So Maggie, you're looking for then?
We're not sure. Lulu can't fully remember, but she knows that she has a friend here, so we wanted to travel out and see who that might be.
No, well, there's a few of us here, but yeah. If anyone knows, it'll probably be Maggie.
Can I ask what you're doing here? Don't see many gnomes just thriving in Avernus.
It's a long story, but I mean, what are you two doing here yourselves?
It's a fucking long story.
Longer story.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Not by choice, I'll say that much.
And at this point, you hear some kind of noise and commotion as the two Kenku reappear and begin making their way back over to you guys. And as they do that, and then kind of looks you both over and says, well, if you're looking for anything from Maggie, she doesn't do things for free for strangers, but she's, don't get me wrong, she's not a bad sort. Make yourselves useful to her and she'll make sure you do all right. And Nim kind of turns away and heads over back in the direction where she came from. You can see now that you guys are a bit closer behind that pile of scrap. There is another one of those kind of infernal motorbikes that Nim seems to be working on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya. And as the Kenku approach, you can make out that further behind them, there is a woman making her way down from the cave entrance. This woman, she stands about 6 feet tall, despite having a significant hunch. So standing upright, she'd be even taller than that.
A massive lady.
She has a kind of greyish peach skin, which is wrinkled and hangs loose in places. And her face resembles that of a kindly grandmother, but with exaggerated features. Her chin, cheekbones, and nose are all very pronounced. And you can see that her hands and arms, which are exposed, are adorned with these strange fleshy spikes. And she wears a kind of reddish shroud, adorned with a great variety of bones and things hanging loose. And as well as this, she wears a pair of red goggles on her forehead above her face. And there's a tool belt strapped around her waist as well. You can see that on each of her shoulders, there's a raven perched, kind of looking over in your direction to see what's going on. But she is also accompanied by a great big bipedal creature following a few feet behind her. This creature stands maybe 9, close to 10 foot tall. And Amity, you immediately notice that this creature seems to be comprised of various body parts of devils stitched together. And it has these like metal canisters attached to it, and it's unclear whether they're like part of the creature's physiology or if it's carrying them. And this large bipedal creature is following behind as the hunched over woman is approaching, this great big smile on her face. And Amity, make an Arcana check. Okay, so Vera did actually use these in an example, if you remember. This is a night hag.
I knew about those.
So hags typically fey creatures, but there are essentially an offshoot of hags, which are fiends, and they're known as night hags. This creature walking towards you is indeed a night hag. You are aware that night hags kind of feed off the suffering of others to an extent. It kind of not so much sustains them, but they get a lot of pleasure out of the suffering of others. And
a tasty treat.
and this woman, which you're able to identify as a night hag, makes her way over to you, and she's kind of scratching her chin. Actually, I have an image to show you guys of this.
Wait, Maggie's a night hag?
Yeah.
Oh, thought she was nice, man.
Should be a nice night hag.
And here's a nice wee photo of what's walking towards you
Holy, what the fuck is that thing?
with two ravens perched on
Cool as
Maggie's
hell.
shoulders as well.
She looks so
What the fuck?
And so Maggie's kind of scratching at her chin as she's approaching it. Well, what do we have here? And she looks at you, Amity, looks at Jelly, and then her eyes fixate on Lulu. She's like, oh my, Lulu, my dear little thing, it has been some time.
She goes,
Lulu, is this your friend?
And Lulu's like, oh, I don't remember.
That's okay.
And
Maggie, please be careful with her.
yeah,
Maggie continues over and is like right up now, and you can see the creature, the big bipedal creature's kind of like clumped its way over and is just kind of leaning over, looking over you all.
Can I just grab Lulu and hug her?
Yeah, you can do that, and Maggie comes over and says, "Oh, Lulu, what's gotten into you, old friend?" And Lulu's like, I don't remember.
Something happened to her. She doesn't remember a lot. Hi, I'm Amity.
Amity,
My friend
pleasure
Maggie.
to meet you. I'm Maggie.
And I hold up my hand.
And Maggie takes it. She's got a surprising amount of strength in that hand.
She does.
She takes your hand and shakes and says, I'm Maggie, but my sisters called me Mad Maggie once upon a time.
Ah.
And you are? And she gestures to you, Jelly, as you hold on to Lulu.
I kind of nod and I say, hi, I'm Jelly. I'm like looking up at both of them. me and Lulu just kind of covering. Hi.
Jelly, what's a curious name? And she like pets your head.
Yeah. Family name.
You say sweet little Lulu has lost her memory.
But she knows that she had a friend here. And it seems like that might be you that she's remembering a little bit, but unfortunately she's...
Well, it must have been many years ago now, but myself and Mickey here did encounter Lulu. She was in quite a state when she arrived with us, but
Hi, Mickey.
Mickey just kind of goes,
Oh God! I hate that.
Is Mickey happy to see us?
Oh, don't mind him. He can't really communicate very well. He can't speak, but he's very friendly. He wouldn't hurt a fly, I assure you. And he just goes, oh.
I say to Maggie, would you mind if I cast message on Mickey? Do you think he could speak to me then?
You can certainly give it a try.
Do you have any questions for Mickey?
Yeah,
There's your chance.
Give me a second to check something.
Mickey, you know, once you get past it, he looks like a sweetheart.
He does, look at his eyes, very kind eyes.
Very kind eyebrows.
You can certainly try, but I'm fairly certain he's able to understand but not speak himself.
Let's find
maybe,
out.
Maybe I'll pick up a vibe.
So what are you going to cast? What are you going to say to Mickey?
Hi, Mickey. How are you?
And you hear back in your mind.
I say, no, you're right.
Oh.
Mickey.
I tried. Didn't get that mad at voice. Whoever the fuck it is.
But you're capable of magic then, are you, young lady? Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. Are you, Maggie?
Oh yes, I'm capable of all sorts of magic.
I'm going to hear all about it.
Yes. But how did you come to find yourselves here and find yourselves in such wonderful company? She gestures to Lulu.
Well, we were tasked to travel to Avernus to do some field research and learn a little bit more about the plane. And Lulu here made it back to the material plane, which is where we come from. I don't know if I should have said that. We met her there, and the three of us travelled here because Lulu has memories of Avernus, including yourself, clearly, and this place. And so when we got here, we just wanted to help Lulu get her memory back, and we want to learn more about this place in Avernus. So
yeah, I'm gonna get on my journal and I'm gonna be like, I have so many questions.
yeah.
All right, you're scholars and researchers then. Well, it's you've gotten yourselves into quite a risky endeavour, but
We're thrill seekers.
I won't dissuade you, I'm sure, but just do make sure it's a flattering account of myself if you don't mind.
Of
Of
course.
course.
I'm quite the artiste.
So then I am the one in charge of a little war band here.
Fantastic.
Amazing. I love this place.
general.
already.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's taken many centuries, but I think I've gotten it into a state where I'm quite happy with it.
A powerful lady. It's very
Yeah.
inspiring, Maggie.
So it can be difficult to carve out your own little life down here, but some of us manage it.
Yeah. How long have you been down here?
Oh, let's see, it's probably into my 4th century down here now.
Wow.
You
Must have
see,
seen a lot.
to really manage down here, it's kind of the nature of existence here. You have to make deals and bargain with whoever you can to get by.
Wow, you wouldn't be able to tell. I would have guessed you were just into your second.
Oh, you don't need to flatter me. But I appreciate it nonetheless.
Maggie.
Oh no, carry on.
I'm sorry. It would be great if Lulu could remember who you were just as you remember her. Maybe we could go somewhere and we could talk a little bit more about your time with Lulu, and Lulu, maybe hearing Maggie speak about it would jog some memories. We found that as she sees things, she remembers a lot more. So if you wouldn't mind telling us about that your time with Lulu, that might be good, and she might remember you.
Yes, we can certainly do that. Pins, needles, keep an eye on things out here. And the 2 ravens turn to imps.
Oh, that's cool, Maggie.
Amity claps.
And the 2 imps that you refer to as pins and needles take flight and perch themselves on various scrap piles and just kind of look around to keep an eye on the affairs of the scrapyard here. And Maggie takes Mickey by the hand and is like, "Just follow us back this way here. I'll lead you to my wonderful abode."
Cannot wait.
And she leads you up to between the kind of index and middle finger of Fort Knucklebone, if you will. And as you approach, you realize that there is like essentially a garage built into that cave. There is an area cleared, probably about 40 feet wide, to make room for vehicles to be brought into the cave and to depart the cave. You can see inside there are tool benches and like some sort of prop and crane system. There's no vehicles in there just now, but there's like evidence. There's like essentially like tire tracks and stuff. You can see that things get wheeled in here and seemingly worked on and wheeled back out. And off to the side, there's this kind of like metal shutter, and there is this big kind of crank kind of wheel next to it. And Maggie says, "Mickey, if you would be so kind." And Mickey begins cranking on this, and the shutter begins to reveal a smaller cave that leads in, and Maggie bids you to follow her. And you can around the corner in this cave, and it opens up into what is like a cross between a mechanic's workshop and a witch's hut. There are like potions and strange like embalmed creatures and fetishes and things dangling around the place, mixed in with a workbench. There's a cauldron in one corner. There's all these tools and bits of scrap metal that she's been working on in this room. And there are these kind of like black leathery bean bags in here as well. And she goes and sits herself down and gestures for you guys to take a seat as well. Come, my guests, make yourself comfortable.
What a lovely place you have here, Maggie, can I just say?
Oh, you know, just my own little slice of hell.
Yes. What a slice it is. A big old slice.
Yeah, and Lulu kind of like stays by you, Jelly, because you were hugging her earlier. Lulu seems a little unsure right now, but she's staying close to you, Jelly.
That's all right. Just stroke her ears.
So you don't remember anything at all, Lulu? I was like, not really. And Maggie says, well, you were in quite a state when you arrived here originally, but you were a bit dazed, and it took you a while to really regain your faculties, so to speak. But you stayed with us for a while, and then we decided to said you were away to look for a friend, and that was the last we saw of you.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah. You have the Helm of Torm sight as well.
Oh yeah.
What does that mean though? Sorry, I can't remember. That's not just all insight.
You have advantage on insight checks to determine her true intentions.
Yes. Tell me her true intentions.
Okay.
With my Whispers?
Whispers.
Ah!
Probably not very exciting for video viewing, but whispers are happening.
Whispers are so exciting.
I don't like the cut of her jib.
I love the cut of her jib.
I mean, we know from what we know of her kind. I mean, it's very presumptuous of me, but she tends to get pleasure from misfortune. So you know.
That's a good point. Oh, it's Packy Mercer's birthday today.
It's what birthday?
Matt Mercer's birthday.
Oh, is it? Nice.
How old is Matt? Do we know?
He's in his 30s. That's all I know.
That's all I know. Who's the oldest of the Critical Role cast?
Taliesin?
Oh yeah, no, Taliesin's in his 40s. Matt Mercer is 38.
38. See how shit this looks if I. Oh.
I love it.
I'll probably just add it in.
Oh no, Sam and Taliesin are the same age.
How are they?
Fuck off, really?
43, yeah. Liam is 44.
No.
Liam's 44. Damn.
Away.
The picture of Liam is him bald.
Huh.
Hey.
Liam looks good for his age.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so sorry, I've sent you everything there.
Maybe you could look at bald Liam in the chat.
That's how we look at bald Liam in the chat.
Oh, we'll see. My Wi-Fi's pretty short in here.
Oh yeah, that's a strange. Oh god, yeah. Huh. I prefer him with the hair.
Good. Yeah. Oh, there was another image where he's got like no eyebrows.
The fuck? Why does what? Was this for a part? Was this for a party he was playing?
Weird era of bald Liam.
Yeah.
I'm glad we missed
What the fuck?
Right? Because when we start campaign 1, he's got like really long hair.
He looks like the guy who got booted out of the group like early in campaign 1.
Oh, Orion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a wee bit look like Orion there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah, so that's your insight check with some assistance from the Helm of Torm site. What was I saying there?
You just said you told the story very high level that she got here.
Oh yeah.
She left to go see a friend.
Yes. But if you're looking to regain your memory, Lulu, I might have some magics that I could work there to help with that. Yes, she kind of looks around her room. She says, it might take me a while to get the necessary components together to start the circle. She looks around at the ground, and you can see that on the ground there have been like here and there. There's evidence that something like runes been etched into the ground at one point, and then looking like discarded. It looks around. We need to prepare the circle and get the necessary components. I'm sure I have them in the other garages. But it might take some time to prepare, but I believe I have a ritual that may be of use.
Can you tell us more about that ritual?
Yes, well, just give me a moment. And she gets up and heads over to one of her workbenches, and she kind of pulls out a drawer and kind of shuffles around and then brings out this strange kind of leathery tome. She sets it down and flicks through and kind of thumbs through it a wee bit. And he goes, yes. What I think I can do is there anything in particular in Lulu that you're any specific points that you're looking to retrieve in your memory, Lulu? You can the last time I saw my friend Zario. And and Maggie kind of like a smile kind of creeps up Maggie's face. Like, I can certainly do that. Yes, I can certainly do that.
Maggie, what do you know about Zariel?
Well, that's she was a tough negotiator. I'll tell you that much. But she's well, back when Bell was in charge down here, he was a lot more as long as you kind of showed proper deference to him, you could kind of get away with whatever you wanted down here. But Zario's much more focused on this task at hand, dealing with the Blood War and all that. So I had to make myself useful, so to speak, so that she would allow my continued existence here. So I offered the Knucklebone service to Zario and repairing various infernal war machines that her forces need, and I'm also tasked with keeping the other warlords in line, so to speak.
The other warlords?
Oh yes, I see. Zario is so focused on events along the River Styx to contain the Blood War that you could say her focus elsewhere has well, the rest of Avernus has perhaps been a bit more neglected. Various figures have gathered followings of their own and carved out little fiefdoms here and there. But Zariel views him as a little bit of a nuisance, but I have, in order to stay in Zariel's good graces and allow the continued operation of Fort Knucklebone here, I involved myself in reining them in, so to speak, eliminating the ones that become too much of a nuisance.
Do you miss the times of Belle's reign here to allow you to have your freedom? That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, it's pros and cons, you know. Belle was a bit of a dick. Zariel, at least you know Zariel's straightforward. She cares about the Blood War, and that's about it. Belle was a pompous, arrogant one, really. He enjoyed feeling powerful and superior to others. So, you know, you're kind of some ups to dealing with him, some ups to dealing with Zariel. You know, you have to adapt to the situation down here. Avernus, it's not a particularly stable place.
Smart woman.
Can I insight check that? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. What specifically are you insight checking?
I want to understand her feelings towards Zariel.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
If it's a pain in the ass to whisper, then sweat, but up to you.
I'll whisper it.
All right. Jellie is just looking this woman up and down.
Anyone want any more ages or critical role fun facts?
Yes. What is Marisha's favourite colour?
Marisha, I'm going to say it's probably blue.
I could see that being the case.
She does not like pink.
No.
Oh no, there is a section. She likes black and blue.
Black and blue, well done. What's your favourite colour for?
This is pink.
Is it pink? By any
Saw
chance?
that one coming.
Like all of the colours flashed through my mind. And I was like, what one is it? What one's she driving with? Well, of course it's pink.
What's your
Pink is
favourite
very
colour,
nice.
Sarah?
My favourite colour? It used to be yellow. I quite like an orangey yellow, like a sunset.
Mustard.
Yeah, I like mustard actually, like a browny yellow. Don't know.
There's your whisper, by the way, Sarah.
I like it. All right.
Sorry, I keep a better track of where we actually are in the conversation when
Sorry.
insects happen.
She was just kick the table.
Oh
And you was like,
Oh yes, it's that bit of the table that like juts out a bit underneath. Sorry.
oh, my soul comes back into my body.
no!
Quick, cast revivify.
Help her.
Stay with me. Stabilize.
Can I ask Maggie, what do you know about Zariel before she became Archdevil?
Zaria, she's a bit of a favourite of Asmodeus, so to speak. Sort of angel, fall from grace, archdevil. It's truly fascinating stuff there. I'd love to know more about that.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
Insight checks for days here.
Amity.
It's not my skill. It's not my skill.
Actually, she's a funny one, Maggie. She's kind of hard to read.
Oh, fuck.
That is fair enough. Okay. Yeah, me too. I'd love to know more about that. You know, my notes here.
But, oh yes, of course. So, perhaps this ritual will be particularly useful for yourself as well. Then, see what I believe I can do here is I will prepare a ritual circle. Lulu will be in the center. She will be the focus of the ritual. I will remain on the outside to carry out and channel the spell, keep the ritual flowing. But you two could remain on the inside and keep the ritual and visions of Lulu's memory focused, so to speak. You would be there reliving Lulu's memories, in a sense.
Insight check.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't trust this bitch.
Actually, can I ask her? So,
Okay.
the ritual won't harm Lulu and will just get her memories back. Is that all it'll do?
I'll double check something real quick.
I don't like the fact she has to fucking check her spell book to answer that question.
No, she's not checking. She's not checking anything.
No, I know.
She knows immediately.
It's the DM that's.
There would be no risk of harm to Lulu. However, the two of you in there guiding the visions along, so to speak, there'd be no physical threat of harm to you. However, it may take a bit of a toll on your psyche, so to speak. If you were to experience hardship and suffering within the vision, that may take a little toll mentally. But once the ritual is over, there's no risk of death. I assure you. That's not a concern. It is just you may take a little bit of damage up here.
And the only thing it will do to Lulu is reclaim her memories.
If the ritual is successful, it will restore fragments of her memories, yes.
And if it's unsuccessful?
If it's unsuccessful, we can try again.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to insight check that whole fucking bit.
Okay.
If that's all it's going to do. Oh, when I needed it most. Oh.
But it might have hit a DC. You never know. 15's a good number to have got.
16. Maybe.
Oh,
If Gavin allows
16,
it.
because you're going for the true intentions here, so it's.
What are this bitch's true intentions?
What's she doing?
He's whispering again. Fuck's sake, man. Let's go.
You roll an insight check.
That's true. I
I
know.
just have written down this post-it note. Andrew distracted by giraffe. That was a meme idea.
For
the
Call
break.
of Cthulhu,
Look at Taylor. For a
yeah.
minute there, I was like, that didn't happen in this campaign, did it? There's no giraffes.
I
But
was
it
going
was
for.
there.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
looking
there.
for like distracted boyfriend, like
Oh, yeah.
figuring out Jackson's murderers. Giraffe.
Fucking Jackson getting murdered, I was not expecting.
Fucking bitch. As soon as I read the thing, I was like, he'd probably be upset if something bad happened to him.
Yeah, I was like, something
He
bad happened. Yeah. So what did Far do specifically? That? There we go. So I've given you your whisper there, Sarah.
While she's in that, Amity's gonna be like, well, you know, I don't want to offend you or anything. I'm really fascinated about you, and you know, would us, you know, being in that circle and taking some old DiMaggio's, would that benefit you?
You are an astute one. It's I will not lie to you. It would be very minutely beneficial, so to speak, but that is not it is not the aim. It is not the goal
No,
of this endeavor.
I wasn't going to insinuate. I just wanted. I'm just very curious about you.
Consider it a happy accident.
So,
And who knows? It's possible. If everything goes according to plan, you may not be harmed at all in the process.
Okay.
Sometimes these visions just need a little nudging along.
You're bonking along.
It does depend on how traumatic the memories may be.
Look at Lily. I hope it's not that traumatic.
I suppose we shall see.
guess I'm just a little unsure. I know that Lulu has been through a lot already in terms of people trying to probe into her mind, and the only thing that seems to have worked so far has been just being in Avernus and learning about this blank spot in her memory. I mean, is there information that you want out of her that needs to come quickly at the risk of doing this ritual?
Well,
you seem very keen to do the ritual is all, and I don't want to waste your time.
It will certainly be the fastest way to retrieve some of Lulu's seemingly lost memories.
You just want to, that's all you want?
Well, if the memories are pertaining to Lulu's friend Zariel, there may be interesting things to be learned from those memories.
Well, we know a few things about Zariel.
How about we compare notes?
All right, what kind of information do you have to share?
How about I show you?
You can show me.
I'm
Very
gonna
curious.
cast
Oh.
Guys self.
Okay, are you taking the form of Angel Zariel?
I sure am.
Recognize me?
So you take the form of Angel Zariel. I just want to give you a second here.
She immediately attacks.
Yeah.
They invoke.
She starts hissing at it like a cat.
She's like, ah.
Does she?
Oh. Jellie's gonna take Mickey.
Oh my god! I think you're gonna eat me!
I died, like, I can't do it.
So you take the form of the angel Zariel, and Maggie's eyes go kind of wide as she begins like walking around you, taking in this thing. Fascinating stuff, fascinating. She looks rather different these days, let me tell you.
Does. I
I was
hear. I
like,
haven't
she
seen her.
does.
Oh God!
Yes,
So
she
yes,
does.
yes, I'm afraid she does, Lulu. I'm afraid she does. But yes, it's interesting to see her in her original celestial form, so to speak.
Yeah.
Very
Speaking of,
interesting.
have you this sword I've got? Do you recognize this at all?
Sword. I believe Lulu mentioned the sword last time she was here.
What did she say?
As she kind of regained her faculties after her short visit to us, Lulu, you had spoken to us about having, you had expelled a great deal of your power to protect a sword, I believe.
That makes sense, Lily. Did you heal Lily when she was here? Did she just heal on her own naturally, or
I
did she just rest up?
She rested and I assisted her with that process. I cannot take total credit, but we gave her a roof and care and company.
Insight check.
Okay, go ahead.
Fucking bitch, man. Like, she reminds me of like the witch from Hansel and Gretel. That's the vibe I'm getting. Ah!
Whisper.
We'll get the wiki up again to entertain yourself.
Yeah, I'm just
Looking at that wiki.
I'm looking at that with you.
So that's to say shake,
That's all
not
right.
sake.
That's sake.
Right.
Okay. Fuck's sake.
Amity's going to say something. What did she say? Again, I don't mean to offend, but
Go ahead.
what did you get out of the process of meeting Lulu?
Oh, what was that, sorry?
What did you get out of the process of meeting Lulu?
Oh, well, it's always good to make new friends and allies in such a dangerous landscape. And I can't, as you have already pointed out, there is some level of benefits to myself in such matters.
Can I insight check?
Sure
I'm
she's going for it.
I'm so sorry.
What are you insight checking here? The fact that there are
Her motives. Her intention.
Times of suffering, right?
The thing is, like, no matter how well you roll an insight, I can't just like say this is what she's up
true.
to. Like you can't just suddenly work out her whole master plan or anything.
What do you mean?
Okay, just leave it.
Like with the extent of your insight checks, it have been pretty good. You are at least feeling fairly confident that she's not actively malicious.
Yeah, park it. That's cool.
Is there anything else we can ask her?
We showed you some stuff about Zariel. You got anything as juicy as that?
Well, I do believe that sweet Lulu here is a friend of Zariel's and perhaps may even have been present during Zariel's fall from grace. Could be very very keen to see what Lulu may remember.
Why do you think that? Did she tell you that when you met her before? What makes you think she was present?
She spoke of seeing she spoke of seeing Zariel and being in a very difficult position, and then not much later Belle was usurped by Zariel the Archdevil.
When you say difficult position, what do you mean?
It sounds like Zaria was being beset upon by all sides from devils and demons alike.
She had to make a call. I say to Lulu, you don't need to do this. The memory, we don't know if it's going to help anything that we're trying to do. And
We need to. It might help us know how we can save Zariel. I want to save her. She's my best friend.
If you want to do it, Lulu, we'll be there for you.
She like, at this point she kind of flies, so she's between you both and tries to like, she'll fly over to you, Amity, and wrap a trunk around your hand and kind of bring you close so that the three of you can be kind of huddled together. As long as you're there, I know I'll be okay.
nothing's going to hurt you. I trust Maggie. You'll be okay.
Yes, Lulu will be just fine, Maggie says. And they says, I think we should do it.
How long will it take before we can set up the ritual?
Perhaps a few hours.
Is there anything you would like us to do in the meantime? A favour, perhaps?
Well, you could certainly see what the others are up to, the rest of the Knucklebones. They're always running into some trouble. The Redcaps, they create some trouble, but they're also useful to keep around, so it's not uncommon for Barnabas or Chucka or Clong to be dealing with some Redcap related issues. If you could, whilst I see to this, you could certainly see what the situation out there is like, make sure they're not causing too much havoc.
Absolutely.
Yes, but yes, I will get to work in here. Yes, I need to look out a few things I haven't used in a few years, and perhaps I could pick the brains of my sisters. It's been a while.
Are they here? Can we meet them?
Oh, you certainly can. Just a moment.
Oh, no.
And she goes over to one of the shelves, and where there are like jars containing very what's what I'm looking for? Very Christ, the word has escaped me. Dark, cloudy, suspicious looking liquids. She like slides them to the side, and there are two skulls at the back of the shelf, and she takes one in each hand, and she says, yes, these are my sisters.
Hi, I'm Jellie.
Hello, girls. And she kind of holds them both up.
I give them a wave.
Yes, they're not as talkative as they used to be. She puts them back up on the shelf.
Nice to meet you. Okay, we'll head out.
Yes, I will let you know as soon as things are set up in here.
All right.
Jellie, you want to just go ahead really quickly? I'll catch you up.
Okay.
Okay. What about me, Amity? Should I stay as well?
No, you go help Jellie. You know, you look around the place.
Okay.
Make some friends.
Okay. And Lily like goes and like parks herself on your shoulder, Jellie.
No.
I give Amity the signal, the like message signal, and be like, if you need it, head out.
Stay within range.
Okay,
Yep.
so you Jellie heads out, and you see Mickey still just standing there by the big crowd.
Oh, nice, a wave.
Yeah. They used to do sign language. Like a gorilla. Warm hole, bye.
And so you head out into the you head out into the scrapyard with Lulu by your side, Jellie. Amity, what are you wanting to do in Maggie's little area here?
She's just gonna ask Maggie like, Reese, sorry, I've just got one more question. You seem like you know your stuff. I have a theory that Lulu's memory loss is was caused by the sticks. Do you think that's possible?
It certainly is. I mean, when she was last here, she was her power, so to speak, was certainly depleted. It seems that she had expended a great deal of effort in this sword protection endeavor she spoke of, but her memory was seemingly rather intact, and I'm not entirely sure what could have caused the sudden memory loss since then. But river Styx, it's a dangerous source of water.
That's what I hear.
It's certainly possible.
Thank you. I'll leave you be.
Anyways, I will let you know as soon as things are prepared in here. She begins like dragging the bean bags off to the side to make a big kind of clear space in the middle of the room.
Okay. I go catch Jelly and Lula.
Yep. So you also pass by Mickey, and he looks down and goes,
Oh, sorry.
One angel.
Oh, we love him. Can he come with us?
Yeah.
do you want to ask him to come with you?
Not yet, but
He just kind of stands there by the entrance to Maggie's little kind of workshop, which is hut type setup. So you guys head out into the scrapyard area of Fort Knucklebone. And do you mind if I run to the toilet quickly?
that is
For it.
more than fine.
Thank you, Ken.
We're scheming.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. What kind of scheming's going on here?
Schemes.
Gal schemes.
Yeah, so as Amity catches up to you, Jelly, and you guys look out across the scrapyard, both make perception checks for me.
Did I make one as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of you.
Okay.
15 from
What about
Michelle,
Lulu?
and a 16 from Amity. Also, Sarah, you're rolling as Sarah.
Oh, that means it doesn't count. As usual.
Try every time.
Right.
One day.
So, as you kind of take in the scene before you, looking down from the entrance to Maggie's little bit of Fort Knucklebone, you can see that the two Kenku are now. Sorry, I'm going to run through a kind of list of things here. So,
Okay.
the two Kenku are now over by this large six-wheeled vehicle with various kind of panels ripped off, and they're taking it to kind of stick their head in and bang around, and then coming out looking all frustrated and banging angrily on the side. And you can see one of them hops into it and tries to like start it up, and it kind of splutters to life, spewing out this black smoke. And then one of them sticks their head and bangs around again. They're getting very frustrated with this big vehicle. You can see there is Amity, make an Arcana check. All right. So there is this strange. There's a skull floating, right? It looks like a human-like skull, wreathed in green flame, and it's got these like little beads of orange light in its eye sockets, and it is sort of like going between groups of red caps, yelling angrily by the looks of it, and kind of like going over and then floating off angrily to another group and yelling at some others. You see the two imps, Pins and Needles, are perched up on top of a pile of scrap, and they're like kind of whispering to each other and pointing at you guys. You see that Nim is now no longer at, again, like the Kenku, no longer at the kind of motorbike, and is now at one of the kind of dune buggy like vehicles with some sort of ballista or harpoon launcher in the back, and she seems to be kind of making adjustments to that. And in amongst it all, you can see red caps and the occasional madcap running around, getting up to all sorts. Yeah, so that's the kind of scene that you take in before you. Sorry, I've just realised that I poured myself a glass of water and then didn't bring it through.
You could get it. Well, me and
Where
Sarah.
is it?
Yeah. Where do we want to go?
I don't know.
Well, she mentioned the red caps first, so maybe she would like us more if we.
To chat to them, see what they're up to.
I'm just like, because Nim was like,
Your water.
like, make ourselves useful. So if we make ourselves useful
To her, then we should be all right. I mean, yeah, I guess just go over and.
I really want to talk to that skull as well.
I don't know what to say. Yeah. I mean, we could. Fuck it. Like, we just whatever's closest. We can do it all, right?
That's the same thing.
That's the same thing.
There's the skulls talking to the red caps.
Perfect. Let's go over and chat to those guys.
Sorry, so what you guys want to do?
We're gonna approach that skull.
Okay, so the skull is just floating around this wreath in this big kind of ball of green flame. And so as you guys begin making your way over, you can see that the group of 3 red caps that it was seemingly yelling at begin cackling and running off. And the skull just kind of lets out a loud, and then kind of looks around and sees you approaching. Greetings there. You are the latest arrivals here to speak to Maggie, I believe.
We are, yeah. Anything that you need help with?
It's funny you should say so. These little delinquents. As he angrily looks over the red caps running around. Yes, it would seem I am in need of some assistance. I just kind of look around and see like who else is nearby within earshot. If we could just keep this between ourselves, Maggie doesn't need to know anything about this. You see, I'm missing a tooth, and you can see that he is indeed missing a tooth. One of these little rapscallions threw something at me and knocked it loose, and now they're passing it amongst themselves like it's some sort of lucky charm. I would like my tooth back, but I just
Get that tooth.
I don't know which one of them has it. I must admit they all look much the same to me.
Right.
One of these little troublemakers has my tooth.
Jelly, do you have like anything to locate? Not today.
I don't have Zola tooth. I don't have shit.
Well,
I do promise though, if you were able to retrieve it, I could put in a very good word with Maggie.
Yep. Oh, we'll get it.
absolutely, we'll get it. I'm Amity, by the way. What's your name? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Amity, pleasure to meet you. I'm Barnabas.
Oh, yes.
And yourself, gesturing to you, Jelly.
I'm Jelly.
Jelly,
Meet you.
Good to meet you, please. And again, if you could just stress discretion on this matter.
Can I ask you a question, Barnabas, about your tooth?
Yes, go ahead.
What's it made of? Bone?
Made of bone, yes, it is my tooth. Well, it's made of whatever teeth are made from, I suppose.
Yeah, but are you just gonna put back in there?
That's the plan.
I won't question it. Just as a backup option, I wanted to offer. I could make you another tooth out of anything you wanted.
Oh.
Now there's a thought.
If you want an upgrade.
Yeah.
Want a shiny tooth? Let me get a shiny tooth if you wanna.
Oh, this is
A metal one.
what? This is quite an offer, actually. I could
coat
consider
it.
this an I could consider this an upgrade.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Who needs bone? Am I right? Bone is overrated.
Well,
I think
I'm afraid bone is all I have left these days.
Well, not for much longer.
You're not always sorry if it's expensive. Were you not always like this?
Oh no. No, I was not always like this, not at all. You see, once upon a time, I was quite an accomplished wizard myself, but I had this a rival, so to speak. He was never my equal. He resented living in my shadow all his days. This Lomar, but when I eventually passed away and was laid to rest, that vile man, he defiled my crypt. He took my skull and resurrected me as a flame skull to serve him for the rest of my days, until Maggie saved me from that fate. But yes, I've been like this ever since.
Are you happy, Barnabas?
Well, it's not the worst.
I'm glad.
It would be better if I had that tooth back right enough.
Or if you have that fancy gold tooth.
Would you like a gold
A fancy gold tooth could be quite. Do you think it would really add something?
I
it'd be
think
quite
so.
charming?
I think the color palette would be
Mhm.
phenomenal. I mean, you can see some of Jellie's work here, and I just to my horns.
He like floats up to have a look at your horns. It's very, very fine craftsmanship. Yes, yes, a golden tooth. That would be quite something. If you wouldn't mind.
Of course not.
Like I said, I can certainly put in a good word with Maggie.
I just need to measure the gap. Do you mind if I?
Right, yes, of course.
I kind of lean into his mouth, trusting
like
him.
the jaw hangs loose, so you can
Oh, nice.
look
Okay.
at it.
Your head in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I put my little gnome fingers and
Be careful if you can. I don't know how fragile the other ones are.
fair. I can tell. I may make a backup or something, and I take a
Not
measure.
a bad idea. Not a bad idea, especially with this lot running around.
Now, the metal that's around here, Barnabas, is it? Could you tell me a bit more about that? Just, if I'm going to make you a backup tooth, maybe. I don't have that much gold on me, I'm not going to lie. So I might need to make your backup out of some cleaned metal that's kicking about here. So is it good metal?
But I have to admit, I'm not really a mechanic or engineer. Typically my responsibilities involve I bombard the enemies with spells when we're out on expeditions. You see, that's my speciality.
Just like Amity.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a wizard yourself, are you?
I'll leave them to talk about it, and I'm going to find some metal. And can I investigate that metal from a blacksmith's perspective?
Okay, yeah, make an intelligence check.
Thank you. I want to leave them to talk about some wizardy magic shit.
Yeah, I'll talk about my training.
Okay. Yeah, so you're a wizard as well then?
I trained as one, yeah. But my magic more comes from just within me,
You're a sorcerer. Interesting stuff, yes. So Jellie, as you are rummaging through this metal, there are various types of metal here. There are some metals that you are familiar with from the mortal plane. There are other metals you have never seen before in your life.
Okay, I take one of those.
Okay. Add mysterious hell metal to your inventory. You have a sheet of mysterious hell metal.
Mysterious hell metal.
But as you pick that up, pick it up and realize that it was serving as a back wall to a red cap hovel, and as you take it away, suddenly there is a little red cap's head pops up where it was and goes, "Put it back! Put it back!"
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll put it back.
You place it back down, and the red cap is goes, "Thank you."
You're welcome. Sorry.
But then as you begin to move away, another red cap runs up and then takes it away, and the red cap's head pops again, and he goes, "No, put it back!"
I didn't touch that time. I'm sorry.
And that red cap runs off with it, and so the red cap pops out of the hovel and chases after them, and they're running around for a bit, and then the one that's carrying it tosses it to you. But the other red cap continues chasing the one that stole it. like seemingly like ignoring the scrap metal now, just chasing after the other red cap, sickle in hand.
I pocket it and I whistle and walk back.
Hey, casual Jelly.
Hi. I take a little seat and now could I use Artisan's Blessing?
Yes, you can. It takes an hour to use Artisan's Blessing, but you can do it.
We got time. Amity will just walk around talking to the other folk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will deal with the wizard, make him a shiny new golden tooth, and I'm pretty sure I've used up all of my gold now that I bought.
Okay, so you can spend an hour, and as you're doing this, you do feel Onach's presence pass over you,
Hey babe.
kind of watching you craft this golden tooth for Barnabas.
I asked Barnabas about like stuff that he likes, and I want to like engrave the tooth with
Oh shit.
nice things, or if he had a deity that he was into. I mean, I'm pretty good at drawing deity symbols.
No, I wasn't a particularly religious sort. Just a sturdy golden tooth would be wonderful, please.
Of course. Fit for a king, coming right up.
There you go. So Amity, as that's happening, you wanted to go in and talk to some other folk.
I want to take Lulu
Okay.
to see the Kenku.
Okay. So you head over to the two Kenku that are like furiously working away on this. Actually, I might have a picture of what they're working on.
Oh.
I believe it is this. Oh fuck! Someone made a real life model of it.
Oh shit.
Yo.
So I opened Facebook and there's a really funny image.
What is it?
It's indescribable. I can only describe it as big flip flop.
Big flip flop.
I'll put it in the chat.
I'm also sending an image to the chat just now of the vehicle
Flip-flop.
that the king. Oh my god!
Oh.
It's really funny. I hate the way it's.
Yeah, that. Oh, yes, that's an interesting one. Why is this image not sent? Oh,
Oh,
there it
It
is.
is. It is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yo.
It's a big vehicle.
Holy shit.
So the king are kind of working away on it, and you approach them. Just going to to bring up the right thing here. They are very focused on what they're doing.
That's what I've seen behind the DM screen. Like,
But it's not my DM screen.
oh shit, you got a different one.
Hashtag not my DM screen. Oh, excuse me. Can I stop yawning?
Probably got like 20 more minutes before I need to go.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's
Good
fine.
night.
Yeah, we can get through some of the stuff though, at least.
Oh yeah.
And so Amity, as you are approaching, you see that one of the Kenku, getting very frustrated, just kind of throws his tools down and says in Maggie's voice, "Whatever did an innocent woman like I do to deserve this?"
I tend to leave and I'm like, do you remember them at all? Do you recognize them?
No, I don't remember them.
Oh.
I don't think I've seen them before. Maggie was a bit familiar, but I don't remember anyone else here.
Oh. Okay, we'll make some new friends right now.
Yeah, it's always nice to meet new friends.
It sure is. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna say, hi, need any help?
And the Kenku turns around and says in Nim's voice, "Oi, bird brains!"
Or yourself?
And the other Kenku are such a pain to roleplay.
Yeah, because
It's alright.
Polite.
It's alright.
they can only say certain things in people's voices.
And the other king is kind of like straddling a bit of the vehicle, looks up and says in a very gruff voice, "'Tis the Hezro gear." And then the one in front of you says in Maggie's voice, "Don't be so silly, it can't be that."
This is a
And
riddle.
it like sticks its head inside and kind of like bangs around for a bit.
I have a look, see if Silvera's.
Okay, yeah, stick your head in and make a perception check.
Not my jam at all. Oh, it might be my jam.
Might
It's
be
your
your
jam
jam.
today.
I did read a lot about these fucking bitches in Camelot Fire.
You researched some infernal war machines. Actually, yeah, what you notice is as you and the other king are sticking your head in to have a look, the other one kind of like revs up the engine a wee bit, and you see some of the like machinery come to life and kind of splutter a wee bit. And you notice that like just up the top, there's a wee spiked gear that moves kind of counter to everything else and glows with a kind of slight orange glow. And as the other king is kind of hammering angrily around, you realize it seems to be kind of gumming up the works in there.
Oh, I'm gonna like nudge the Kenku and I'm gonna go, that's your problem.
Huh? And like looks up top, and it says in Barnabas's voice, "Aha, that will do the trick." Um,
I love it.
It's so good. It's really good.
and he goes and picks up his silvered pike that he left outside and sticks his head back in and starts jabbing at it, and is able to like pry it loose, and it comes clattering down out the open panel, and he goes off and kind of rummages through some scrap bits and looks for like a replacement bin, holds it up, like tosses aside the one that's kind of glowing orange, runs over and kind of like disappears inside the machine, and affixes it inside, and kind of pokes his head out, and in a gruff voice again looks at you, Amity, and goes, "Give me your hand with this. I'll owe you. What do you say?"
I say, hey.
And so you
Nothing.
you like poke your head and you realize the Kenku, only being about 3 feet, can't actually get as high up as it needs to. So it's basically looking for you to give it a boost up to where it needs to fix the thing.
I'll give it a boost. I'll also cast Mage Hand so he can have another hand to help him.
Okay. So just make a kind of general athletics check to like hoist up this Kenku. It's not a high DC, it's light.
She's
but
used to lifting jelly, so it's
that's true.
like lifting a jelly, a lighter jelly.
Yeah, there's a tiny
So
little...
you kind of hoist this Kenku up, and like the Kenku's feet, those kind of like bird-like claws go like onto your shoulders as it's kind of rummaging around, and the mage hand comes in and he hands a spanner to the mage hand and kind of like sets it to work and then lets go so it can carry on.
I'm just like holding this and trying to control the mage.
And the Kenku eventually does it and then says in Barnabas's voice, "Huzzah!" And then the Kenku like drops down, so like it lands like on your shoulders, like kind of like sitting on your shoulders.
Oh, I'm gonna carry out and I'm gonna get the mage hand to high five.
Yay!
You high five the Kenku. And the other Kenku comes down and has a peek inside, and then like rushes up and like starts the engine again. It actually like, whirs to life this time. And the Kenku in the kind of cockpit area like pokes his head out and yells out, says in Nim's voice, "I'll be telling the boss about this one."
Hey! Another one in the bucket. Hey.
And the Kenku on your shoulders kind of like stands up and then hops down and gives you a wee salute, and then gets back to the other Kenku.
Before he goes, I'm gonna give him. I have one spare child's hat. I'm gonna put this little beret on the Kenku. I'm gonna say, "Good work."
And the Kenku kind of looks it over and like gives what I guess could best be described as a Kenku smile with their big beak, and says in Maggie's voice, "What a little sweetie."
Aww, he's Nice.
Before
Awesome.
rushing off to join the other Kenku up inside the vehicle.
No, just keep talking to them. It's just a delight.
Gavin's like, fucking please.
I know. Yeah,
He's got his Kenku
Role
spreadsheet
playing
up.
Kenku is hard, but
Yeah.
it's so fun.
You were nearly a Kenku, remember, Sarah?
Was I?
Yeah, you're really considering it.
yeah, I think back
I
when we were
was.
making characters, you were like, "Oh, Kenku
Yeah.
sounds so cool," and I'm like, "It is a pain."
And we were like,
Oh, I was. Yeah. Oh, but it would be funny though.
Can only repeat what they've heard.
Yeah,
so-
you have to have like a whole other like notes
So funny.
to like.
Yeah, you need a
things
notebook
you have
to
heard
remember.
said.
Yeah, but it would be funny.
Like if you were able to keep up with it and kind of like witty and stuff, I guess like with it, you
It
could
be so good.
you could.
That's playing on hard mode.
Yes, yes.
Truly
Um,
is.
And Amity, as you've been doing that, Jelly kind of finishes up the golden tooth for Barnabas.
Ooh.
I say please, sir, if I may.
Oh right, yes, of course. He like opens his jaw and hangs us, and the flames kind of like recede a bit, so it's not like burning your hands or anything.
Thank you. And I like when people get like false teeth in and they kind of attach it to their neighboring teeth.
Yeah.
I've done that with some metal as well, so that it kind of
Oh, okay.
stabilizes between the teeth around it.
Ooh.
World's first dentist.
Do you want to go ahead and make what kind of skill check did we decide this was, or did we just to kind of make
Yeah.
stuff? Just add a d20, and then I will add various bonuses associated with it.
What, do you want me just to roll a d20?
Just roll a d20. Don't worry, you do have like there are bonuses on top of this. But
Oh, never mind.
oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you make a really nice
Excellent.
and like once it's affixed to Barnabas's jaw, you can't even like see the bridging bits attaching to the other teeth. Is very well designed, and the tooth itself is very beautiful.
Is it comfortable, Barnabas?
Yes, it's quite comfortable. Are you finished?
Yes, I believe so.
And the jaw kind of snaps shut and kind of shifts from side to side a bit. He's like, yes, I feel it. That feels perfect. How does it look?
With a smile. Fantastic. We'll need to show Amity. She's the best judge.
Wonderful. And at this point, Amity's done working with the king. Maybe a bit of like grease and oil and things on your.
Oh, my pretty dress.
Oh,
haven't gotten inside the.
Is she torn it? Because if it's torn,
not torn. It's not torn.
damn it.
And you've got like you've got like dirty claw marks on the shoulders as well, where the king had been standing.
The dirty little feet.
Wear them with pride. Like, I helped build something.
Yeah. What?
And like as she says that, you like hear the revving of the engine as that vehicle taking a picture of to the girls go down. Like that's like
The scale of it.
that's like a humanoid next to that as well, like with this great big like wrecking ball and everything behind it, like whirs to life and begins to like trudge forward, and they can kind of drive up into one of the garages in the Knucklebones.
What? That?
Yeah. I helped.
Holy fuck, Amity.
How's that tooth coming along?
I mean,
What wonderful! What do you think?
It looks beautiful.
Well,
Maybe
thank you.
we match. Kind of.
Oh, we certainly do. And he kind of floats up next to show off the matching.
Mwah.
See, just
This
two
is,
wizards.
Two wizards.
good work on the demon grinder there. I'm sure Chuck and Clonk appreciate it.
The Demon Grinder. So, great name.
Yeah.
Demon grinder, yes, that's a demon grinder, and those smaller ones there are Devil's Rides, and he refers to the motorbikes there. So the bikes are Devil's Rides. The great big kind of six-wheeled thing you just worked on is a demon grinder. The dune buggies are tormentors. To find out fucking bit for it. Yeah, so the dune buggies are tormentors, and there is a much larger one.
Larger than the demon grinder?
Yeah, I believe so.
Would have spotted that.
Oh no, sorry, no, the demon grinder is the largest one there.
Biggest wave.
Where is it?
Or is it?
Or is it?
Or is it?
There's actually not any. Is there no artwork of the other one? Oh, there's this. This'll do. There is this, which is a scavenger.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And that one actually is not apparent there, but it actually has a kind of crane claw at the back of it. So like the demon grinder has that kind of like wrecking ball, whereas the scavenger has an actual kind of like crane type thing that can pick things up with a great big claw.
That's cool.
So one is kind of runs through that Devil's Ride is the bike, the Dune Buggy is the Tormentor, the one you just worked on is a demon grinder, and then there's a scavenger, which are these kind of just kind of triangle shaped things with a big crane at the back.
Damn.
I say to Avernus, do you guys, from what we've seen of Avernus so far, it seems really dangerous. Do you guys?
Oh, it certainly is.
Do you guys tend to get attacked much by the demons make their way out here very often, or are they all in the front line of where the Styx is?
Well, apparently back in the days of Bel, it was more common for demons to make it this far, but Zariel keeps things rather contained along the Styx, so to speak. So the greatest trouble we encounter are fiends, which are under nobody's control, sort of natural fauna, you could say. There are also sometimes there are devils that can cause issues, and as well as that, there are the other warlords.
Any advice for us you could maybe give?
Anyone in particular?
You can tell that we don't really maybe
Anyone in particular? Well, I believe
you stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, everyone around here sticks out a fair bit, but I believe until quite recently, I believe the greatest threat was Smiler and his defilers. But I believe Maggie was saying that that warband may have fallen apart. I'm not entirely sure what Smiler's up to these days.
Interesting.
But there are various other warlords active just now. I'm sure Maggie keeps tabs on them as best as I can tell. I'm usually quite happy just to unleash a bit of arcane fury on them when I get the chance.
I hope we see you in action one day.
Nothing quite like a well-aimed fireball.
That's just right. Isn't that just right? I'm gonna cast a firebolt.
You are, it's a pink firebolt as well.
Yeah.
And then get your flames, Ranger. I'm like,
yeah,
flames, the flames.
Your flames.
Show him.
And you can see, like, not really want to be outdone. He puffs up the green flames, and like he starts spitting out firebolts. Yeah, wonderful stuff. And it's an interesting twist you put on the old firebolt there.
It is. I wish I could take credit. It just kind of happens.
Well, I suppose that is the way of things for sorcerers. But yes, thank you so much for the tour. I'll make sure to put in a good word with Maggie for you.
You're very welcome. I do hope you like it.
Yes, but yeah, you were asking for advice on traveling. I would say that a lot of Avernus is kind of rather barren. You're going to be out traveling, Avernus, you're definitely going to want a vehicle of some sort. Otherwise, you'll be spending an awful lot of time on foot, let me tell you.
Well, we got this, and I got my broom of flying.
Well, that's definitely a useful tool, but won't go anywhere near as fast as some of these. And he kind of gestures over to like the vehicles and stuff that are scattered around.
Like how fast? Like twice as fast?
You want to see some real speed, bitch?
Let me tell you exactly how much faster they go.
There's a meme for you.
I'm pretty sure they have different speeds, but I can tell you what the speeds are generally like.
It's like the meme that already exists of the skeleton on the chair. Just
That's Barnabas, yeah.
That's how I'm imagining Barnabas.
Yeah, I wanna see.
So, what is the speed of the broom? It's 30 with both of you, yeah?
Yeah, and 60 with just one person.
That's right. So, with 2 of you on it, most of these are 3 to 4 times faster.
Well.
And you can see as well that they are like equipped with weapons and things as well. And you can see as well, like there's actually a scavenger there, kind of in disrepair, and the like claw bit has been replaced with some sort of ballista. So like it seems like these can be kind of customized. Parts can be like changed up and whatnot.
Can we get a pink one and make it look like a really big like Barbie Jeep?
Oh my god, that image is so good. That's Barnabas when they go out on a joyride. Oh god. Yeah, you can also see that some of these vehicles, despite being of a kind of similar model, have very different armor and things on them. It seems that they can be changed up quite a fair bit with different parts and armors and things attached or taken off.
That's Amity and Jellie.
Oh god. Yep.
Hey, they gave him a hat. So
Yeah.
what won't they do for me now?
Mm-hmm. And as you guys are like kind of having this conversation with Barnabas, you hear some kind of noise behind you, and you look over, and Mickey is there. Seems to be being tormented by some of the red caps.
No, not fucking watch.
No.
Like you see, they're kind of like hopping around him, doing this kind of funny dance. You know, and then one of them like stomps on his foot, and he starts like hopping around, like clutching the hurt foot, and then they all jump around, copying him, having like a great deal of fun at his expenses. He's going.
I shout over, "You guys better fucking move away!" And I like raise my warhammer, and I start marching towards them.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh.
They're just little bit.
So, amongst them, there are 4 red caps and a madcap.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the red caps are kind of giggling and begin backing off. But the madcap rushes over to you and attempts to stomp on your foot with his big kind of metal boots. So as he rushes up to you, he's going to make an attack roll to stomp on your foot. In a momento.
I'm going to stomp on his fucking foot. Are we about the same height?
No, they're shorter than you.
Small fry.
Oh no, he misses big time. So he runs up and like tries to put his foot down, but he's too slow, and you like back off, and the foot just hits the dust and kind of sends some scattering. And he looks up at you with his like hideous face because it's a madcap.
Yeah. Can I charge him?
Oh.
Well, he's like up at you now, so you don't have the distance to go into a charge.
Can I move back and charge him?
I guess like put hands on Jelly, like Jelly.
Let me at him.
Both of you make a dexterity check to see who goes first. If Amity's able to stop you in time, or if you like get the attack off before Amity goes.
It's a save. Sorry.
Oh no.
Okay, Amity gets you're like bringing up the warhammer. You're really angry. Amity's hands just come down on you, like oh, come on. As the madcap scurries off, and as it scurries past, it like stomps on Mickey's other foot, and he like tries to bring that one up, and immediately falls over, just clutching his feet.
Okay, now I'm gonna cast Gust.
Okay, he's in Gust to the chat.
Yeah.
Mickey.
You have to cure wounds, Mickey.
I will.
Okay, the madcap will make. Okay, madcap got a natural 1 on his strength saving
Oh,
throw.
make
So
him
the
look like,
the
Can I get
madcap
the other ones to scatter as well?
make him look like a
he starts
poodle.
throwing out gusts and like there's like cackling and laughing going on as they like scatter out to the various hovels and things. As Mickey's just like lying there in the sand holding his feet.
Oh, we go over and I rub his clawed feet.
As you do that, make a perception check.
Is he gonna stab me with his toes?
So he's like on his back, like holding his feet, just going.
Oh,
And
boy.
as you're like kind of rubbing his feet, you can see that his right foot there's actually a nail driven through it.
I'm gonna cure wounds.
Can we pull the nail out before you cure wounds so it doesn't?
I'm gonna do it at the same time, so hopefully the cure
Ah.
wounds soothes his little foot. And I'm gonna say,
Okay.
okay, make it
gonna-
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to use thaumaturgy to have like little lights around him so he's distracted.
Yeah.
Okay. Amity make a persuasion check. And Jelly make a medicine check.
Oh no, his cure wound's gonna harm him.
He's not that persuaded.
I'm not that medicine.
Yeah, so he's kind of like looking at the lights and going, oh.
Oh.
And then like as you go to move the nail, it's a bit kind of bent and twisted, so it doesn't come out easy. And as you tug at it, he like grabs at the thing and goes, oh!
Oh baby!
And like him like flailing and like reaching forwards that cause you to like let go, and it's still embedded in his foot there. It's like piercing all the way through.
What else
Like,
can I
he's
do?
clutching at it again. Oh!
Oh,
And you can
I'm
like hear a madcap somewhere nearby just giggling to itself.
I'll just cast gust in the general direction.
Okay. Yeah. So you cast gust and you like hear the giggling cut short as like there's like a clattering of metal as things fall down onto it.
I'm going to. God, he's a bit of a devil though. Like, hold on, please. Oh, that's okay. All of my stuff is radiant. It would hurt him.
Make a religion check.
Maybe you can cure him, right? Like,
I can cure wounds. I just didn't know if there was
oh.
some. No.
You're not really sure on the physiology of whatever Mickey is, and so you're not entirely sure. Like you're not because you're kind of like thinking, is this going to harm? You're not sure on like if cure wounds or whatever because of his unusual physiology. You don't know how he would respond to that.
I can't take the nail out, and I can't cure wounds. What the fuck can I do then?
You can try again.
Yeah, do you want me to like cast Mage Hand and help you? And
Yeah. Can I have advantage from Mage Hand and try yank it again?
What is the mage hand doing to assist in the matter?
to pull at the nail to help as well.
Okay, so the issue wasn't necessarily that Jelly didn't have enough strength to pull at it. It was more the fact that like because it was kind of bent and stuff, like moving it caused a surge of pain through Mickey, and he kind of flinched at it.
Oh, well, can I like hold his foot still? With that?
Okay, yeah, you can try and hold his foot still. Make an if you're doing this with a mage hand.
What?
The mage hand isn't very strong, is it?
Okay, I'll just do it then. I'm just doing Mage Hand for flair. I'll just grab his foot.
Okay, so
Or I could hold it and Mage Hand could yank it.
Mage Hand is very strong.
Do you think it could yank a nail out?
10 pounds.
well, if Amity's holding him down, so he's not like flailing or flinching or anything, Jelly, take another medicine roll with advantage this time.
No.
Want to swap round?
So again, you tug at it, and Mickey lets out a horrible pain. Like he like starts twisting his leg around because it's clearly agitating his wound by moving the nail about.
All right, we swap round. Amity, your turn to yank the nail.
My turn.
Make a medicine check.
Medicine is not.
I cast guidance on her. I say,
Okay. So you can make a medicine check with advantage because you've been pinned down by Jelly, and you get the guys on top of it.
do guidance as well.
Hey!
Guidance.
Because it's twisted, right?
There we are, 21.
She can take
So,
it out cleanly.
Jelly using her significant strength to keep Mickey still here, or at least his leg still, because he's a big boy. Jelly using her, forcing kind of pin him so you can't like twist the leg about or anything. And as you kind of take a moment and you feel a little bit of divine guidance here on this, and you would very swiftly yank out the nail. And Mickey does let out a kind of yelp of pain, and then he just kind of goes, "Oh."
Is that better, Mickey?
Oh.
Well
And
done.
he lifts the leg up into the air. Well, he's like on his back in the ground, like lifts the leg up into the air, and there's just this like little hole going through his foot now.
Oh, I'm gonna try cast Cure Wounds. But can I stop it if I sense that he's taking pain from it? Can I cut the spell?
What level are you? It doesn't really work like that. You can't really cut it short.
If I see she's gonna cast, can I make some kind of roll?
Oh yeah.
You can go ahead and make an Arcana check, Amity.
Can I say to Amity, I'm not sure if this is gonna hurt him?
I don't know. Let's do it.
Amity doesn't know. No.
But hold on then. Hold on. Just relax. No, everything's instantaneous.
Have you already asked Tom a question today? We really
No,
care about Mickey.
I really like Mickey.
We Tom. Bit of a change from yesterday's question.
Again.
Is it you're casting Cure Wounds then?
Yes.
Okay.
Not
What level are you casting it at?
Just first level. I don't want to
First level. Okay. So cast your Cure Wounds with, was it 1d8 plus 4 or something? 8. So you place a hand on his foot and channel that radiant energy, and the wound does begin to heal up.
I don't think it is radiant energy, by the way. It doesn't say like a type of.
Yeah, it typically goes like radiant is like kind of celestial in nature. So I say radiant. Like you're not. It's not like it's not specified as like radiant healing, because healing doesn't get like a type like that. It's just healing. So. He is this divine healing, this celestial healing.
Natu doesn't care about good or evil, so.
And the wound does begin to heal up, and Mickey kind of sits up and rubs both your heads.
Thank you, Mickey. Is that better? Can you get up? Do you want a hand?
So the little 3-foot gnome helps the big 10 foot.
I offer my skull as a.
He puts a hand on your head, and there's a lot of weight behind him as he stands up. So, you feel your head compressed down into your body, and he gets himself up. And he just sits down and goes, "Ooh."
Bye, Mickey.
And he kind of tests the foot out a wee bit and goes, "Ooh."
Mickey's coming with us. I don't care.
Yeah, we were taking him.
He's coming. He needs to be protected at all costs.
He does. Well, he doesn't come with us.
Maybe he's probably sleeping.
We don't have a good track record.
Can he drive? He can be like baby driver.
Oh, can he drive? Yeah.
You
drive us about.
You don't know if he can drive or not.
Well, we're gonna have to ask him. Add that to my questions for Maggie.
Next session,